What's up, Sassy Gamers? Today is July 1st, 2021, and I'm here with Brian, Bruno, and Kelly.
What's up?
And this is
Hello.
Got Our Attention Podcast, Season 2, Episode 3. We've made it here every day. It's a new experience. That was actually pretty good. You actually...
I'm just shocked that...
You said it.
I was shocked that that Bruno didn't actually jump in there. And I didn't mess with it too much.
It was,
but you
it
did
was
say...
so fast.
I expected it to be fast.
So many women have said that about him.
I am married. Only
That's what she said.
one woman may have said that. She may or may not have said that. We will have to table that conversation for another time. Oh, man. Well, how are you guys doing? Everybody good? I know it's been a long week, at least for me, and I know some of you.
Why are you asking loaded questions, Mike?
It's fun.
So those are loaded questions.
All right. How about this? Kelly, how's your work week going? Has it been...
My work week has been amazing. I've done like no work that I've gotten paid for, so it's been awesome.
Cool. I wish I could also do work that I didn't get paid for. That would almost be like back in college as an intern at whatever.
I'm
startup.
sure we could talk to your boss and we could arrange for you to do work that you don't get paid for.
That's fair. That's probably a good point. Maybe not want to do that.
I mean, careful what you wish for.
Oh, man.
Instead, you should wish for getting paid for work that you're not doing.
That's fair.
Oh, see, that sounds like a plan right there.
See, it's all about order of operation.
Would that still be
words have power.
Work harder?
Words are magic spells.
Would that still be work harder? Work smarter, not harder. Would that still be considered
no, that's
that?
work nothing, make money. Come on, are you following this right now?
I guess not. I guess I'm not tracking.
Your money for nothing and your chicks for free.
All right, that's fair.
Does it count,
I
Kelly?
think it does count. It does count.
Kelly,
Drink.
There we go. Yeah.
You can take this one away to your corner.
Oh, thank you.
Kelly's corner.
Come to my corner, guys. Come to Kelly's corner. All right. The first thing I wanted to start off with was the Windows 11 TPM scalpers. Brian had mentioned this in a podcast, the first or second podcast. So the TPM module is the trusted platform module. Most PCs already have this. Almost all laptops do, but it is a prerequisite for Windows 11. And knowing that some people are going to have a problem with this and want to upgrade to Windows 11, scalpers have been buying them up and hoarding them and are going to be scalping them for way more than they're worth. You can buy it. You could have bought them for $20 a few weeks ago. Now, right now, you can't get one for less than $100. That price is also expected to go up. How do you guys feel about this one? Especially, Brian, I know you were able to fix your issue in BIOS.
Yeah. So, I think it's complete crap, and it's just another thing that shows how crappy scalpers are, because these had no value essentially, other than that they're hardware encryption keys for systems that didn't already have them built in. I did the Windows 11 check, and it says you can't run Windows 11, and this was for the short period of time before it told you why. I was able to figure out it was because my TPM module wasn't turned on. I have one that's already part of my motherboard. So I was like, my stuff's new. What do you mean I can't run Windows 11? It didn't make any sense at all. And I looked it up, found out what it was. I went into my motherboard and I went to turn on the TPM. And we do just like scary messages. It's like, you sure you want to turn this on? Because if you turn this on and you don't use it, then you have to delete all of your encryption keys. And I'm like, wait, what is it? Is it saying it's going to delete if I turn it out? It was scary messages. And I was like, YOLO, hell with it. Turn it on. I need it on
see
anyway.
What happens.
Let's just see. Like,
it's fine. You just rebuild your
had some
computer
boot
anyway.
Problems.
So.
I'll just rebuild the dang thing. I do that on a regular basis anyway.
And then it's like, oh, BitLocker, by the way, and now you can't use it.
Yeah, no, it actually says that too. It's like used for, BitLocker and among other things. I turned it on, it booted fine. It was great. And then it passed. And Kelly, you tried this on your own laptop.
Which is brand new, and I had no problems.
Yeah, because hers was already turned on.
Yeah.
Not every machine has them turned on by default. I'll have to check my other laptop. It'd be nice if laptops had them turned on by default.
Yeah.
I mean, mine's a built from scratch computer, so I'm not shocked that it was turned off.
And that's one of the things that they said in the article that I read, is that most laptops, you're not going to have a problem with this.
Yeah, I had the exact same
has
issue
been out for
as
years.
Brian did. So,
Yeah.
So
I was
Brian,
like, how does this make any sense? And I had to go and enable it.
So Brian, I'm gonna need those TPM reports as soon as you can, and also work on Saturday if you can. Also swing that.
Harry work on Saturday.
That'd be great.
That's true. That'd be great. Thanks.
I can't think of TP anything.
Yeah, I think it's really, really despicable that, Windows 11 is going to be free for everybody who has Windows 10 because Microsoft has long ago figured out, especially with Windows 10, that it's not worth it to sell the operating system, except for to OEMs, which is in theory the manufacturers of the computers. For someone like me who's building his own computer, then it counts as the OEM. And I only paid like $17 for the last, which was this computer right here that I built. I was like, and that was Windows Pro. Yeah. But they're giving it away free. And then the scalpers are like, haha, everybody's going to need this. And even worse, some people that don't need it, some people that just don't know how to get into BIOS or where to find this turnout. Mine was buried. I was plinking around in my BIOS for like a good 5 minutes before I found it.
Whoa, I don't need to hear about what you do.
Yeah, right.
Plinking we don't know, but you doing your BIOS is all you, dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's all me, all right.
Oh my god,
so creepy.
That is so creepy. Glad I'm not the only one.
I mean, it's meant to be. That's not meant to be like a pleasant sound in your ear holes.
Twitch would think differently, actually.
Well, I mean, listen.
Yeah.
Twitch
doesn't get us banned real fast.
No, that would get us to the front page real quick.
There are good chunks of Twitch that are havens to the closet perverts that like don't have the balls to watch real porn.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest here.
Hey, don't call all the 13-year-olds
or the misogynists that want to be able to actively attack a person.
Well, yeah.
I say misogynists, but misogynists and transphobes and everything else that actively want to attack somebody while they're secretly getting turned on at the same time, which is that's the ultimate creepy there.
That's really a real niche genre.
Oh my.
Of human.
Well, you'd think it was, but the people
Brian
that
found them all.
that genre are way too popular, and they're attacking like some really good streamers out there, or just some streamers that are like gaming the system. Anyway, that's enough of that.
We digress.
Yeah.
The next thing I wanted to talk about, did you guys hear about the woman that caused the huge crash at the Tour de France?
Yeah, that was.
She made a darn mess.
I saw the video. It was, it was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, and she was there. The Tour de France, has regulations. They say you need to make sure you're out of the way. The riders are the number one, priority. It's a safety issue. Keep out of the way. Don't worry. Don't risk their lives to try to get on camera or whatever. She was holding up a sign in German and or French, reaching out, shout out to her grandparents or something, and one of the riders in the very front got knocked over, and then it took out the rest of the peloton, or not almost all of the peloton. So,
it was
a ton of people ahead of ton of people freaking out. One of the guys had a collapsed lung and 4 broken ribs. Anyway, it was crazy because she not only stepped onto the road with one foot, she's leaning forward, hamming it up for the camera that is trying to catch this massive pack of closely packed bikers. And she's got this sign that is this long, huge piece
sign.
Of cardboard. Like she got a gigantic Amazon box delivered.
It's like
just
5
for this.
feet wide. it's sticking 2 feet out past her, and she's like crouched down and leaning into the road. And one of the riders, he couldn't go left or right. They were that tightly packed. And he's like, well, I got to go through it. And she had such a tight hold on the sign on top of it being cardboard, which is not going to bend very, it bends somewhat easily, but he hit it at such speed that it was
he
basically stiffer than he was expecting. He lost it. And these people have got collapsed lungs and stuff because literally people are right
on top
behind
of each
them
other.
Bikes and they're riding over them and then falling. And then especially when they're clipped in and the pedals are coming sideways into someone's chest. It was messed up.
Yes. Well,
back to you, correspondent Karen.
Thank you, Brian. So the French police, were trying to find this woman who did this. I mean, she was hamming it up for the camera so they could clearly see her.
And then she ditched as soon as it happened.
She was like,
she's like, oh shit,
Audi 5000.
And she ghosted.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I had f***ed up that bad, whoops, I too would have ditched.
How ironic.
How ironic. Yeah.
I couldn't even not swear with how ridiculous that story is.
It was pretty ridiculous.
Now we know that's the timestamp we got to scrub. My bad. But could you imagine at that moment realizing you look behind you and just like, oh
God.
No.
Oh God.
That's one of those stories where when she gets out of prison, 10 years from now, she's going to get on Reddit and go to today I effed up, and she's going to post, 10 years ago before I went to prison, I caused a 1,000-person bike accident for the Tour de France. People are going to be like, we know who you are.
Yeah.
We were looking for you.
She should have just taken a swan dive into the entire pile and taken her own knocks and go, oh, it was an accident. I tripped and fell into it. I mean, at least she could have invented something.
I mean, the only thing I could think of is Steve Urkel. And it's just like, did I do that? I'm out.
Oh, God.
All in all, though, I don't know. She's now globally known on a first and last name basis.
Yes.
So I don't know that what she did fits the bill that she's having to pay for it, because I don't know that being slightly stupid, negligent, and self-centered begets going to jail and being accountable for that much in damages. It's just so much for something that's in any other circumstance you just be idiot and move on with your life.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, if it was somebody sitting there doing that with these the football players coming out of the stadium in mass, right? I don't think any of them would have actually fallen down, but even if they had, they
would be impressive.
The football players behind the person would just clock her, and then they would probably do nothing else. They'd be just like, oh, you're just banned from the stadium for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Something minor like that.
Yeah.
Well, so they were trying to find this lady and eventually did find her. They're not saying whether or not they used this special facial recognition software or not to find her. But
absolutely not. No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't do that.
They would never do that.
They could just
doesn't even exist.
I mean, it's not like she didn't have a cell phone on her that had a tracker or anything.
Nothing like that. I mean, Siri was talking to me earlier, so. But so they did find her. They are charging her. We will hear more about this story that.
As this continues.
I do feel awful for the Tour de France riders.
Yeah, that's just whack. Yeah. It's funny you say Siri's listening, because Siri always, or even Google, because I said it now, it's probably listening. But anytime that Google, you don't want them to listen, you're in the middle of a conversation about something, they're like, sorry, we didn't find XYZ on, and we're like, insert word here. I'm like, what? What'd you just say to me? Why are you listening? That's not, I didn't even say your name. Get out of here.
I was just,
hey, Google.
Yeah. Just before the podcast, I was yelling at my kids because they were supposed to be in bed already. And I said, I want you both facing the wall and with your eyes closed and go to sleep now. And Siri goes, I can't help you with that. Sorry, I can't help. I was like, why are you? I didn't even talk to you. So.
Yeah, it's definitely listening all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
All right,
no, what's even funnier is 2 weeks from now you're going to tell that to your children again, and they're looking at you. They're going to go, "I'm sorry, I can't help you."
Yeah, exactly. Right, Siri said we can't help you with that.
That was me trying to move on, and I couldn't, so I drank. And there was also a cat, so I guess you should drink for that one too.
Yes. I already drank for Parker.
So we're gonna move into the news, and I know I feel. Do you guys feel the little bit of heat that's coming off of Demirin right now? I feel like there's a little bit of a spark kind of burning, and I think this next story may get heated. We'll see.
You know, it's half and half.
That's how you know. Yeah, it starts with
it's half and half. So like we're gonna talk about a game that should have been something great and instead was nothing. Which is like the usual story.
Disappointed dad.
Yeah, it's the usual story nowadays, right? Like game gets hype, game says they're gonna meet the hype, game comes out, game fails to meet hype. Everyone's like, wow, and loses their mind. Except this is almost worse because nobody really got mad. It was like such a like weird, like tepid disappointment that there was almost no outrage over it. People were just like, you know what? I'm not even mad that this game didn't succeed because it was just so functionally terrible that I don't think I want it to. Which is like a whole new level. Like Cyberpunk, people were like, this thing just doesn't perform well. And this game, they were like, no, you just did everything wrong. Like, I don't want this to even be a game anymore. And now it's not. So Magic Legends, which is the action RPG based on the Magic the Gathering, like Magic series from Wizards of the Coast, released in a beta format some time ago. I actually don't remember the exact date, but it was supposed to do its full release.
Not that long ago.
Not that long ago.
I played in the alpha twice. Sonia played in the alpha twice. The beta released, I want to say,
wait, that
4 or 6 months ago?
That was not long ago. I remember I was supposed to sign up for that.
It wasn't long ago.
I will say I played this game. I
posted it in the Discord.
I was going to say, it's actually, I can look it up. I'll tell you. Go ahead.
I played it. I played a decent bit of it, and I felt the exact same way a lot of the community did. I played it, and I wasn't angry. I was just like, well, it's just not good. It kind of just sucks.
I loved so many concepts.
January 26th was when you posted that article.
I feel like they had an idea of what they wanted to do, and then they just like they didn't meet it. Now, Wizards of the Coast was not behind the entirety of the game, obviously. It was being run up by Cryptic Studios, who they have a track record for other games that also did fairly lackluster, such as Champions Online, Neverwinter, and Star Trek Online.
I've actually played Neverwinter, which is not bad. It's just pay to win for sure.
Bad. Like, it's just not great. They also have a weird track record for really terrible item malls that are either completely broken or just nobody wants anything from them. But the game was just a whole lot of nothing. It was like like very poorly designed, poorly put together, just like not it's just not good. I can't, like, you'd expect me to just rant and be really angry, but I'm just sad at how much they failed at achieving what they even wanted to achieve. And the studio itself, here's one of the reasons why I'm not more angry. The studio went back and they're going to refund everybody on any money they spent on the game.
Yeah.
Which is different. Most people don't do, like, most companies don't do that. They're like, well, you spent it, you're done, that's it. They said, no, we understand. We've failed. And we're gonna pay you back. We feel like we've done our job so terribly that you are owed your money back.
That we're gonna pay you back. Wow, that's impressive.
We're gonna refund you in full because we suck.
Well, and some of the disappointing things is they had such a brilliant concept for combining the cards of Magic the Gathering along with this Diablo-esque style game. If anything, where they failed was like the concept of, if you go to a Diablo style game, you expect loot. I mean, come on, you gotta give me a reason for doing this. There was a lot of gameplay mechanics they had cool. So you would find cards. As you found more copies of the cards, that would build up the power of those cards. you would go into play and you would have a deck of cards, which would be the different cards you could play through. And the cards what they would do is they would randomly pop up from your deck, right? And they would go into one of 3 slots. If you're on, let's say, an Xbox controller, let's just say it's X, A, and B. And you'd basically have 3 buttons. And you could press any of those 3 buttons to play that card. And it would set off that special ability. And then as soon as you played it, it would deal another one out of your deck right onto there. So sometimes you would get cards that come up that had good synergies together that you could play with each other and it'd come up with stuff. To Parker. And so that was really cool. And sometimes it didn't come up. So there was this nice randomness as well. And that was really neat having some of that randomness that the cards weren't always going to be perfect. You could kind of min-max some stuff, but kind of not. And that was like the main thing. And then there wasn't that much else that you could really rely on as being interesting other than they did have some cool scenarios. Like you walked into this map and there were 2 main lanes that you could go up during the map and you had to escort these civilians as you went up. And you had to protect them from different monsters that showed up. And the civilians keep coming and you're just thinking normal video game rules. So you're like, you stick around with this set of civilians and you're protecting from monsters. Yeah. And then you're seeing messages that civilians are dying and you're like, what the hell? And you realize that there's another lane over there of civilians. So you rush over there to help protect them and you move them up a level. And then the other ones at the other side are getting ambushed. And then you run back and you get them kind of the finish line. And then you realize that this train of civilians is not ending on either side. So you're rushing back down to the beginning because monsters have respawned there and if they're attacking there. It was such a neat little, not only dynamic map to play on, and you had to get a certain number of civilians before you could be successful and move on. But also it was just so unconventional that it threw you for a loop and almost kind of more real life. I mean, in real life, you don't have 8 civilians in a nice little group that you're going to escort from A to B. I mean, you have just this mob of people running away from monsters and the monsters popping out everywhere. That's more realistic of what would happen. So they had some cool ideas. I think they were hamstrung by some of the pay to win that I heard about.
Yep.
That started creeping in there.
Mm-hmm.
And pay to win's bad in these games. I don't know why game companies haven't learned that yet. There's some game companies that have roped. But there's other ways you can.
So crappy.
Yeah, I mean, you can sell cosmetics, and
cosmetics
and
are amazing.
Proven.
People will buy cosmetics.
Yeah,
the people who will
Yeah.
buy pay to win will buy cosmetics just to look cooler than everybody else.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they've decided to shut the game down. It will go offline on October 31st. It does not look like they have any intentions to revive this. The beta really felt more like an alpha. Honestly, that's kind of where it was at.
And I was in the alpha.
And I feel that nothing changed.
That's with
really.
map problems. They were in the beta and they had major map problems that bounding was off or triggers weren't going off to people were getting stuck in maps because stuff couldn't happen. They were having alpha problems.
I can't stress enough how much game studios have to learn to stop releasing this half-baked garbage every single time. Every quarter, there's at least one major game that comes out where you're why? Yeah. Why did you do this? It's like you're trying to destroy your company's image, and they're succeeding. They had all they had to do was put the effort and the money into it, and they would have had a game that would have made them back all the money they wanted. And they decided to cut corners and just release this just really garbage unfinished game. And they all use the same excuses through and through, because they also had a bunch of news announcements that said, oh, well, development's going slow because of COVID. And it's we understand that COVID makes things more difficult, but there are a lot of studios that are succeeding in spite of COVID. So you can't just use that as your fallback every single time. You were creating garbage before COVID and you're creating garbage during COVID. So maybe you're just really good at creating garbage and you should stop being good at that, because being good at that means you're bad at everything else.
This is getting agey.
right?
Like literally Valheim, a small independent studio, released a game during COVID, and it's actually one of like the best games of last year, in at least my opinion. So it's like you can't use the code. Yeah, obviously limited resources. Yeah, you can't use a scapegoat. You're going to have limited resources. You're going to have limited availability for testing and things, but that doesn't, like, this is the world of the age. We're all, look at us. Like, we're all 4 in different locations, and we're making it work. Like, this isn't, we don't have to be in the same room to make a podcast. So it's the same way. We figured it out, and we moved forward with it. So.
But that's going to happen one day.
It's going to happen eventually. I don't know if I want to see.
But yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense. There's studios who invested as much money as they did. Returnal came out amidst COVID. Was being finished, developed amidst COVID. Amazing game, really well rounded, like instantly a hit. Ratchet and Clank, same thing, being designed during COVID. And there were games that were being designed during COVID. You know what they did? They did this thing where they delayed their game until it was prepared for release.
Yeah.
What about
what a weird concept?
You gotta slow down.
Strange.
They have 3 other online games that are still active and still bringing in money. And for some reason they decided, you know what? Let's just shove this out the door now and hope for the best.
This is a great conversation that I'm going to touch back on later. This is great. I like it.
That's Mike moving on. Do we stop him or do we go?
I mean, not really, but it is something I'm going to talk about later. But we can move on.
So it was PAX East where I played the last physical PAX where I played Magic Legends live on the floor before it was even alpha, and
before it was cool.
There was a lot of excitement for it then. People were lining up, and they weren't like giving anything away. People were just lining up to play it. I went through twice to play it. My wife played it once as well, and so I'm not going to say it's garbage or trash. I'm going to say that they had some good ideas, and they also had some issues, and they just ended up with such a mediocre game.
Well, the thing is with
which had so much promise.
With some of even like with an IP like that, right? So you have something that people like, like they already like all you have to do is slap magic on something and people are going to be excited about it. For that purpose alone, you can put out a just decent game and people would love it. So like they didn't even do that. And that's hard to not even put out like a decent game where like even the fanboys who like, or fangirls or whatever, whatever you are,
fan people
that you like, that you can't even enjoy that. Like the fact that the developers like, yeah, we're going to give your money back because we understand. Like that's bad.
Imagine coming into a scene that is dominated by Diablo 3 and Path of Exile and thinking that what that game was enough to secure you a spot.
Right.
You have to be actually insane.
Yeah.
Now, with what Mike said about Magic, I am proud to announce that next week we're going to be launching Magic, got our attention with Magic News.
What?
So a bunch of people could just get excited because the word magic slapped on it.
Yeah, cool. I'll say MTG Arena as well. We'll do that. Oh, man. So
MTG Shorts.
Kind of going along these lines in a loose way, I guess you could say. So board games, card games, all of this stuff that we kind of used to do before COVID, we'd go out to people's houses and just kind of play. And then you kind of like started playing at home because you can't go anywhere. So like we have all these games that we want to play with like multiplayer up to like 4 or 6 players and we can't. We had to, figure it out, I guess you could say. But during COVID, along with all the Suez Canal that had issues with the massive evergreen chip.
Did you call it the Suez Canal?
I think I did. Maybe I could have said it wrong.
Yeah.
Suez Canal.
Suez.
Yeah.
It's the southern. Was the
Suez, Suez.
It's my southern draw.
Wasn't the ship the Ever Given?
Ever Given, yeah.
Shipping company was Evergreen.
Yeah, whatever that means. The large boat that got stuck inside the canal. But because of that, we knew that
it's like a BBC.
We knew that the shipping stuff, all the shipping costs and everything are going to start shifting. I like that. That's good. It's a 10%, man. It's a 10%.
We're gonna start shipping.
10% here. Okay. But the shipping costs and everything were going to go up because we knew things were going to be delayed and things are behind. And now all the ships behind that ship that were trying to get through the canal. Because if you're not familiar with the not Suez Canal, but the Suez. How do you say it? Suez Canal.
Suez
Canal. it's literally between I think it's like your Egypt and somewhere in the Middle East. Basically cuts the Mediterranean area. And what happens is if they don't
geography,
you gotta drink on that Zeiss-ing that up.
If they don't go that way, they have to go around south of Africa, and go around the Cape to go back up
South
north.
Africa.
So it saves a lot of time, is what I'm getting to. This is your geography lesson by Zycia. So the fact that
I feel smarter already.
So the fact that everything is behind, it's gonna cost more for things, and people started freaking out about toilet paper again, because obviously that's like the first thing people worry about is wiping their ass. But
I mean, if the Suez Canal can get blocked up, imagine what that does to your canal.
Yes.
Oh my God! Thank you for that.
That was kind of a dad joke.
So a long way around to get to this is that some board games.
Another dad joke. The long way around.
Yeah, that was like going around South Africa there.
So shipping costs for board games and also card games have been going up because they're not able to get the product out fast enough to the people that are trying to get them. So there was actually a person that wrote a blog and like kind of put a bunch of information together. And what they found was shipping times are currently lagging 2 to 6 weeks behind what companies would normally expect. Most publishers are paying 3 to 4 times as much for their shipping, despite the delays. Even when they said their shipping cost was 9-fold from before the pandemic. And of course, what do people do when they get charged more? They increase the price of their product, which is, kind of what you have to do. The problem is, as a consumer, as someone who buys board games and buys, the individual board game that I would have, not the company, that cost is now costing me to pay for the shipping, cost of the whole container to come across rather than just me. So it's a lot of different costs that are coming up. And
your
I just
$20 board game is going to cost like $60 or $80.
Right. Which, usually, when you kickstart something, you're paying like $20 to be like the first level, and you're excited because you're going to get like the game, and it's, be before anything. Now that stuff's going up because these people are having to pay for all the shipping costs to even get that stuff produced, even to get it here. So I thought it was interesting because there's a lot of things that, in the world we know of now, even with like we talked about before, the super chips or the superconductors and all that stuff that's like running behind and lagging because of the people not being able to manufacture it. But now we're also seeing issues with the actual shipping side of it, where just getting that stuff to us is going to cost a lot more money too. All right, cool. Glad you guys enjoyed that one. That was your geography lesson.
Indian Ocean to the Red Sea to the Mediterranean Sea.
Yeah, that. It's over there. It's in between. Oh man,
it's over there.
Somewhere in that general area. It's fine.
Well, instead of taking like 35 minutes to like do a terrible geography lesson to get to the point, I'm just going to say that recently they found a Minecraft Alpha 1.1.1.
Yeah, that was
this was a lost
Microsoft.
Yeah, it was pre-Microsoft. That was definitely that was Mojang. Alpha 1.1.1 is a much older version of Minecraft that was released somewhere around in 2010. So 11-ish years ago. Reason why it was, you got people out there that are trying to basically curate things, save different things for future generations to be able to see and look at. And so people do it with all kinds of video game things. And in this case, they were trying to get all these different versions of Minecraft that was released, because once you update your version of Minecraft, it's updated, right? But the cool thing about Minecraft is you downloaded the different releases. So Alpha 1.1.1 was extremely, extremely hard to find because it got released and it had a major game-breaking bug in it right away. And they found that bug very quickly and patched it very quickly. So even though it was a big release, that it introduced fishing rods, the ducklings, a couple other things, but because it had this nasty bug, because this had this nasty bug, it was only available to download for 3 hours and 25 minutes on a single day. So not many people ever downloaded it. And again, most people that did download it just downloaded 1.1.2 very quickly afterwards. Within a couple of days, they probably deleted their download of 1.1.1. So that gets lost in time. This group's looking for it a long, long time. They're out talking to people. And it just so happens that someone noticed, they were just looking around, and they found a tweet from a particular person that tweeted on September 18th, 2010, stating that there was a new version of Minecraft out. That was all that was in this tweet. So they find a tweet from 11 years ago.
Random
they
tweet.
Somehow, that person's still on Twitter, which in and of itself is, if you know Twitter, in and of itself, that's an amazing thing. They respond, even more amazing, right? Because I'd be like, are you a bot? What are you doing trolling through my stuff 11 years ago? What kind of scam are you trying to run here?
Tweet.
Are you going to sell me a 900 number to guys breathing heavily in my ear? I'm not into that type of ASMR.
I don't think Twitch has 900 numbers.
Well, I mean, again, scams.
Give it time.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear guys breathing in your ear? Call 900 Twitch.
Papa Bezos is going to give you the hookup.
Oh, God.
That was a little phasmophobia. Creepy.
Yeah. I was thinking Left 4 Dead, but yeah.
I've been working on those.
Does it work on the ladies?
That one's good.
No, it's not meant to.
No.
You're working on
to
Phasmophobia?
Yeah.
Are you doing the voiceovers for it?
I'm working on it.
Sick.
So this person responded June 25th, so very recently, and said, hey, let me go digging around. And she did. She actually had to plug in an external hard drive that contained files from an old laptop, found a jar file with the correct timestamp, Java file. And then they were able to dig around and check it, and actually found out.
Sure enough.
This was the 1.1.1 update that they needed.
How many times have we heard a story about somebody saying, it's on my old laptop or my old hard drive, and but now it's broken and I can't get to it for X reason or Y reason. It never happens. They actually can get to it on the hard drive.
Right. I have an old laptop, and I couldn't tell you if it's even workable at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. I may have one hard drive, actually from a PC somewhere, and I couldn't tell you what's on it.
Yeah.
Well, and even more amazing, again, this is the only copy they've found so far, right?
Yeah.
And they looked at the timestamps of the downloaded file and figured out that most likely she had downloaded that file 90 seconds before the file was removed from the server and they replaced it from 1.1.2.
I mean, what are the chances? That's a cool
it's
story.
insane.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely insane.
So why did they want 1.1.1.1?
They covered that. A lot of people do curation of this stuff, that they're saving these things. There's actually museums that have some of this stuff.
But that's it. There's not anything particular about that specific instance that has.
No, it's the concept of going back and having a record and actual the digital files of all these different versions. Back then, even at the beginning, Minecraft was kind of a big thing, but that was 10 years ago.
I'm just waiting
granted,
for
while it was big back then, it's so much larger now, and no one knew it was going to be this big. So no one thought of saving some of that stuff.
Just waiting for
we are getting so old now that they're curating
oh my God
video games that we played.
Yeah.
For museums.
This just sounds like Ready Player One.
Let that sink in, guys. Let that sink in.
It's just Ready Player One. There's some golden egg inside 1.1.1.
Well, you gotta understand. You got to understand that they're doing this a lot more proactively than they used to, because a lot of things are getting destroyed even faster.
Yeah.
There's people that were looking for and were curating like the original Destiny release, because the original Destiny release, the little ghost was voiced by Peter Dinklage.
Oh, wow.
And then when they did the update, they replaced his voice.
Not okay, man. Not okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's too expensive.
That's true, I guess.
Well, and it was so heavily like modulated, because it was supposed to be this little robot thing that helps you, that like, I mean, you could kind of tell it was him, but, and believe me, he phoned in that particular performance. It was not his best work. Let's just say.
Well, I mean, but what was he doing? It's not like he was doing anything else. Like, it wasn't like he was involved in like one of the most major TV shows of like all time.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Like he was getting paid. So
he's probably on set, like on the phone.
Something that
he's like, hold on, in between takes.
Yeah, it's even something like that preservationists have gone out to, like, let's make sure we find a way to preserve this. Let's make sure. And I mean, a lot of these games with service, you can't start up the game in a lot of cases and play it in its original form, because as soon as you go online, it's like, oh, update, you know, and then it just deletes that thing that you're trying to preserve. So yeah, absolutely. There's these preservationists are starting earlier and earlier now, and good on them, because I mean, it's nice to have a history of some of this stuff. Yeah. Gives us something to talk about.
Well, it's just unplug your internet as soon as you get a game and like download the day one version or whatever, and then you'll need to have a patch after that.
We even talked about this on a prior podcast. We were talking about the new Tomb Raider,
right?
That the guy was getting attacked online because he talked about an ending, and everybody was saying he made some stuff up. Mm-hmm. And it was because he had never patched his version, and everybody who had played it played the patched version, and they changed the ending. He's like, oh my God, what? He literally was out there going, what do you think about that ending? Isn't it amazing that character X appeared? And they had changed it so that character never even appeared in it. And they were destroying this guy. They were calling him a liar. They were like all over him, until someone else said, oh, I think I figured it out. My friend just talked about the same thing, and she knows nothing about any of this. And I found out she never hooked up her Xbox to like the internet. And then it's even though they shouldn't have attacked him in the first place, there were a couple of guys that were actually big enough and apologized to the guy. Nice. So again, just another thing of what the preservationists out there want to try to maintain. PT, we talk about PT all the time. That's another good example. There's PS3s out there probably still on eBay that are going for $1,000 because they got PT on it. Yep. More on that later.
All right. Well, we have some good games from our games we played this week. So hang out just a few minutes here, listen to a word from our sponsor, and we'll be back. And we're back. What an interesting conversation we just had during the little chat intermission. If you don't know what we're talking about, you should join us on Twitch on Thursday nights while we do this live, because we do talk about some interesting things.
Sometimes we take stuff too literally.
Yeah, well, Brian typically does, but we actually talked about maybe introducing some sort of other podcast talk about thing where we drink alcohol and just talk about nothing or something. I don't know. That may happen, may not. And if it does, cool. If it doesn't,
just want to put a short segment into this one.
Yeah.
But the other one sounds cool too.
I like the other idea better, but yeah, that's for sure.
I like both ideas. Both are doable.
So what have we been playing? Starting with, our Old Faithful game of the moment this week. We played, we didn't play anything. Brian, tell us what you played.
Game of the moment was Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Like a Dragon, that was the word. I put dragon stuff in our notes. I don't know if you saw it. Yakuza dragon stuff.
Dragon stuff.
He's like, Brian, take it away.
Again,
and he grabs the mic and he goes, listen, Brian, you played game of the moment, but I'm just going to tell you that game developer Tycoon was the best game of 2021. Drop the mic.
I'm I'm definitely Kanye. It's fine.
Yeah, right.
You're my Taylor Swift.
You wish.
You're my Taylor Swift.
Oh honey. You say the sweetest things. No, yeah, Yakuza Dragon stuff, as Mike puts it here on the show notes. I just noticed that, as you said. Good. Very fun game. The easiest way to say about it, I mean, we can go recursive and we can say genres, and it's an, action adventure RPG kind of, third person 3D-ish, whatever. It's Final Fantasy, at least the modern Final Fantasies, but in 2019 Japan. It starts earlier than that, but it's essentially that. You have a story. There's a lot of cutscenes, and you're talking during the cutscenes. There's a lot of hair.
A lot of bad hair. There's a lot of hair, but there's a lot of bad hair. There's a lot of hair.
There's a lot of bad clothes. There's a lot of good clothes. You're walking around with your party, and you got side jobs to do that usually introduce new mechanics. The new mechanics are introduced gradually throughout the game. I'm learning new mechanics, and I'm 13 hours into the game. And I don't say that as a bad thing. I'm actually saying it as a good thing, because it's one of the few games, everybody jokes, how many hours of Final Fantasy have you played so far? And you're like, 7 hours. Like, haha, you're still in the tutorial. And that's a common thing with Final Fantasies and others games similar to that.
That's not a common thing in my fantasies.
Yes, we understand that it is only 5 minutes. So moving on.
Yeah.
No, one of the cool things about it is, even though they released these mechanics through different chapters of the game and slowly released them, I never felt as if I was like, oh my God, just show me the next thing so I can play the game. They out of the gate, you're playing the game, you're having fun, you're doing combat, you're doing all kinds of fun things in combat. The combat is very turn-based, JRPG-based, because the whole concept is that the main character grew up playing Dragon Quest, and he kind of like sees the world as like in RPG type terms. So much so that he actually gets to the point where he kind of hallucinates the enemies changing form and battling. It's very cool. But you're playing right from the get-go, so you don't have this feeling of that they're holding things back or they're taking a long time to show you how to do the next thing. They go really quick showing you how to do the next thing. They introduce the mechanic and they let you have fun with it. And you don't feel like you're missing out on part of the game just because you don't have these mechanics yet. Now, I knew for a fact that they were going to show me crafting, because I was beating up some people and they would drop lumber or heavy leather or metal wire. And I'm like, there's going to be crafting later. I know there is. And it was several hours I was getting this stuff. And the cool thing about it is, because I couldn't craft, and I could sell this stuff if I went to the pawn shop, but I didn't. But because I couldn't craft, I was building up an inventory of these things so that when I could craft, I immediately had materials to be able to craft with. So I thought that was pretty cool as well. The pacing of it's very nice. The story is very much, I would liken it to a Mexican soap opera, but in Japanese. Because I don't know if they have, I'm sure they have Japanese soap operas. They like telenovela, yes.
Like a novella?
Absolutely.
Like,
there is a lot of drama.
Porque llores.
Yes. Yeah, well, especially if you're playing the game in Japanese, because they're talking very deep and very fast, and they're talking, they're very angry all the time. And I'm not gonna.
Miguel, we have to get the children.
It'd be insulting for me to do fake Japanese there. So
can we do this on the shoot that episode? Just the two of you back and forth like this.
Right?
This is great.
But Miguel.
Yes.
Miguel.
Oh, well, I mean, we do this outside of work. Yeah, it's like a telenovela, and I'm sure they have Japanese soap operas. I mean, I'm sure they do, but
they do.
They definitely do. I'm more familiar with the telenovelas than I am. So it's very, very much like that. The story is there's like you can see the twist coming up, and the twist hits, and it's like, yo, I expected that twist. but then they twist back another way.
Mm.
In such a way that you weren't expecting, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Twist in this game, it wasn't even the twist that made me have my jaw drop. And if you're interested, go watch the video from Tuesday. There was some twist. You can explain them. I just wanted to stress there were twists that I don't know how I would even have seen them coming.
Yeah, they touch on the main character actually was born in a soap land, which is a bathhouse brothel. And they do not shy away from anything in the Red District. You did not see the part of the game where a man flagged me down and said he needed help getting clothes because he could not get back into his. He found out that something happened to a family member and he ran out of the soap land so fast that he left his clothes. They wouldn't let him back in there because they get kind of upset when you just run out of there naked and don't pay. So the bouncers wouldn't let him back in to get his clothes.
$1.
He couldn't get into his house because, of course, his keys with his clothes.
You'd be at the bathhouse if you had $1.
So it was literally the most hilarious escort mission that I have ever played. It was an escort.
Because
and
you played
like,
a lot of them.
Well, I mean, like escort missions are notoriously bad.
Yeah,
in
because
games. It's
you
a
can
joke.
catch things that you don't need to catch. You should never go with an escort. That's usually a bad
wrong
idea.
Escort. It is the red light district, but wrong escort.
But I was on the Mike's escort train. Like that's where I was
escort
going
mission.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to pay extra for the escort train.
That's what it sounded like. He wasn't wearing clothes, so
that's true. So yeah,
did you say an escort train?
Yes, twice.
Describe what that is.
That's a train of escorts missions.
I can't. I'm afraid to say the other thing that is going to either get us banned from Twitch or, like Mike said,
have you heard of a human centipede?
Yeah. Oh God, stop. Oh, stop.
Thank you.
Can you pull up MS Paint and just like draw us a quick picture?
Yeah, right. But you have a mission where you have to escort someone from one position of the map to the other, which is normally terrible in a game. They made it where it was easy enough that it wasn't terrible. And they made it hilarious enough because what you had to do is you had to keep this man away from people that were, for various reasons, throwing water around, because the water would wash he was covered in suds, multicolored.
Why didn't we get to see this part?
He censored us.
Sometimes you got to save stuff.
He censored us. This is ridiculous.
I
totally don't even believe you. That game was outrageous.
We got to see the baby, but we didn't get to see this.
And we haven't even talked about the baby yet. The part where my jaw was on the floor.
He was covered in suds. Again, one of the reasons why I tease you with this stuff, Kelly, is because I know that you're interested in playing this game. You will go play this game. You're going to sink hours and hours in this game. It's going to be one of your guilty pleasures, I'm sure. It's like you're going to be caught playing it. You're going to be like,
yeah, I'm like when my husband comes home early from work and I'm supposed to be like doing laundry and stuff.
Well, that's the great thing about laundry. You can do laundry and still play several hours of a game.
No, you can't. I mean, maybe you can.
We can.
Teach me your ways.
We actually, cleaning days. I've talked about this before.
Mike, you don't do laundry. I know this for a fact.
Cleaning days. Cleaning days. And it's not because I refuse. It's because apparently I'm not good at it. I don't know.
I do laundry while I edit the podcast.
One thing you can do.
Doing laundry.
As on cleaning days, we're like, we're going to clean the house. We play Civ. Because it's turn-based and we can both have a turn. So when it's my turn, I play, she cleans. When it's her turn, I play.
There you go.
While no, we take
Mike,
breaks.
You're missing. One, my husband doesn't play video games, and two,
you should.
I completely agree. 100%.
Mudbutt's throwing the tentacles out.
Do what?
How do you guys ever finish cleaning?
Right?
Well, at first, when you first start the game, it takes quick. Like you're just like back and forth. But when later on, once you start getting pretty up there, like your turns take
like
some time.
20 hours into the match.
Well, we continue playing it next cleaning day.
This on Friday and then start cleaning on Saturday?
Well, no, we play and then the next cleaning day we pick it back up. We don't play Civ until we're cleaning, and then that's what we use to get through the cleaning day.
Exactly.
Well, why not just give up on cleaning and just play the game?
Well, we do that
because then you wouldn't get anything done. They're using it as an incentive.
Yeah, we're gamifying our cleaning at home, guys. Come on.
Well, see, instead, I just double up on my work because I edit the podcast while I'm doing laundry Saturday mornings. So,
chat says, why not just clean for 20 minutes and then do normal things?
Right? Right? That's smart.
Someone said James sucks in chat. So if you're listening and you're playing the drinking game, drink.
Like there's even a time that you're trying to cross the street with this guy and there's firemen that are like shooting off their fire hose randomly. Yes, play with that message in your mind there, Kelly. I'll just let that sink in a little bit there. No, this game is loaded with stuff like that. And the one that Zycia is so been wanting me to talk about is that while you're walking down the street one time, a man is handing out flyers. You're in the red light district and the flyer is all like pink and purple and got silhouettes of people on it. And it says, "Pound mates. The first call is free." And one of your characters is like, "Well, first call is free." And like, you're talking to him. You're like, "It's a scam, dude. It's never free. Like, I've been in the red light district pretty much my whole life. It's not free." He's like, "But what if I am first one call? It'll be free. I could use a pound, mates." And calls up and this guy shows up. And the whole concept is it's one of your spells that you can use in combat that you, let's not beat around the bush. You literally call them in on your cell phone like a Pokemon. And you're like, "I choose you." And this large person comes down and beats the heck out of all of your enemies.
It's like Tinder, though. He like literally goes back and forth until he finds the one.
Well, he swipes and up and down.
Oh my God. The swiping was crazy.
With neon and tracery. And but the one that they loved is one of the pound mates that I got to call in for free.
He's saying pound mates, just so we're very clear. Everybody heard mates, right?
Yes, mates. Pound mates.
Not the other thing.
What else
so
would it be?
You call in this man who is the patriarch of a family of a gang of organized crime family.
Postmates, but they bring you a guy.
That their kink is that they like to dress up as large babies and have a wet nurse take care of them.
Yeah.
So you call in him, and his initial attack that
I don't
he
do
uses,
anything
at least
in him
earlier. Because by the way, the more you use them, the stronger they get, and they level up their attacks. But his attack is Big Baby Blues, and he comes in and he's laying on his back and he's kicking his feet and wagging his hands.
He's in a diaper.
He's in a diaper, full grown, large Japanese man. And he's mad, and he's just so mad. He's so mad you can hear it. He's just yelling. And you see the sound waves go out. And the great thing about these cinematics and cutscenes is they actually use the enemies that you're fighting. They're generic where they play out the same each time, but they always have the enemies that you're fighting at that time. So that's a nice touch. And you see the sound waves emanating out. And at the end of it, all of the enemies that get hit by this are debuffed both in attack and in defense. So it makes it easier to defeat them because of Big Baby Blues that you call in with your phone. It's awesome. When that happened, it was so amazing to watch Zycia and Daydrinker. I even started the whole stream with one of the crazy things, which was going to the movie and like battling the Rams. And I thought that was a good, crazy start to like get them in the mood and like kind of tell them that that's what this game is. And still this blew their minds.
It's a crazy game. You should check it out. It is literally $59.99 on Steam, currently on sale for I think $40. Also free on Xbox Game Pass. So if you are a member, you can get it for free to play it. There is a lot of stuff in that game. Like there's a lot of stuff going on.
A ton of stuff.
Bad perms. Yeah.
We didn't even talk about
so
the hair.
So many good things.
But
yeah.
We can continue.
You're fighting with a large massager.
We can continue all this.
Oh, that's right. I totally
forgot one of your party members is a woman, and she fights with a purse, and you can upgrade her purse. And she does some crazy ass kicks
bag,
and half splits.
Not a purse, but
bag.
Whatever.
Sorry, bag. It's a heavy looking bag too. Like I got my ex-cops fighting with a pinkish purplish police baton that we found in a love shop. Yeah.
So
I mean it's almost like a Japanese version of Saints Row 3, but trying to take itself more seriously and in the right way.
If you want to know more and listen more, go watch the video from Tuesday. Like there's so much to digest with this conversation and the gameplay that we literally could probably continue talking about this for another 30 minutes, but we're not going to do that.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to do that. We're going to move on. But go check out the video. The game is free on Xbox Game Pass, $40 I think on sale, and $60 right now on Steam on average. So check it out. Pretty cool game. I played a few different games this week. I watched him play Yakuza, but then I also played another game while watching someone else play another game, which we'll discuss in a minute.
Yeah, that was rude AF, but whatever.
Game developer Tycoon. And it's been on my wish list for a long time. I finally picked it up because I was like, why not? And it is very much so a tycoon game where you're literally instructing the life, in this case, a life of a person. So you can tell them what to do. And you're basically making games. So you have a developer, he's like in his garage. And you click on him and say, create game. And then you title the game. You pick a genre, which you only have like, I think 5 to start with. You pick the mechanic. So type of game, you have the type of mechanic like it's going to be about, and then what engine you're going to use, which when you start, you only have like one engine, and then the platform that you're going to try to send this game out on. Initially, you start off with PC, and then you have GX or something, which is like equivalent to like Commodore 64 or something. And it starts off in the 80s, right? Like you start back in like the late 70s, early 80s. And the way you make the games, there's 3 sliders. So each step of the way, there's like 3 development points of the game. There's like graphics versus dialogue versus AI, and the sliders don't really work in the sense of like if I put it all the way up, I'm not going to spend more. From what I've realized and what I've read online is like it's literally just the amount of ratio that you're using between. So if all of them are down, then it's just as equal as all of them being up. Like it doesn't matter. But the idea is you want to get the perfect combination to create a game that you will, sell. And so after you go through those different phases, you submit the game. It's now off to publishing to be sold. And based on your reviews from the different game makers game companies out there that review games, they score your game and then you sell copies. And so when you first start, it's not very great, potentially. And then, so my first game I think was Dumpster Diver. That was my first game. And then I followed that game up with I followed that game up with a Dumpster Fire. And then Dumpster Fire was kind of a hit. I had like a 6 out of 10 on most sites. So I was like, you know what? What do you do when you make a decent game? You make part 2. So I made Dumpster Fire 2. Except that one was not very well received. Made like 2s and 3s. And then all this is like costing money, so I'm like losing money. So then I'm like, all right, I got to figure something out. So I had the ability to make a RPG, like action adventure RPG type game, and I created Skytrim, not to be confused with Skyrim. And for whatever reason, it was a hit. I sold
you could pervert that name.
I sold 1.2 million $1.2 million worth of copies for that game. And hit one of the achievements and was able to basically I had enough money to open my own studio, which was basically me moving into an office building and having the ability to hire like 1 or 2 more, I think up to 3 more people if I wanted to. But with the whole point of the game is that you obviously keep making games and making games. I haven't made Cyberpunk yet. I'm waiting on that one because eventually it'll show up. But the idea is
Cyberpunk or like Cybertrunk?
Cybertrunk. We'll do Cybertrunk. Sure, why not?
I can't wait until you make Cybertrunk 3088.
Yeah.
And it bombs.
Yeah. So, but during this, it's not just doing that. So you can do research as well. So researching different topics, like different genres. You can also research and create your own engine. So the other part that was really neat was history.
Can you get a Hemi?
Yeah. So the other part with this was all the history. So while you're playing, you get like news updates like, hey, Navento has released their new system called the TES, and they're going to be competing. And then another company called Vony has released their console. They're in the talks with Navento on this new console that's going to be disc based. And then it's like, oh, that fell through. Now Vony is releasing their own play system. And it's super funny like that. So, but it kind of goes through the actual history of like kind of like how the gaming world started.
That's really cool.
But you're competing to put your games on those platforms, and you have to buy a license to put your game on there, and then you're hoping that the game's going to sell, and hopefully you'll figure it out and different things. But really cool. I definitely suggest it if you're into that kind of game. So two things I like, obviously survival games like farming, and then I also like the project management tycoon style games where you're like doing, I hate to say like budgeting and stuff, but I like to do that kind of stuff. Like that's the games I like to run everything and make the decisions and do stuff. So, but that's one of the ones you can check out. It's pretty cheap. I think it was like $5. I don't know, even if that, maybe can't be more than $20, maybe 10. So I don't know, I guess I can look it up with a computer in front of me, but whatever. Fairly good game. The next game I'm actually going to skip over for a second and talk about the one that Kelly wants to talk about, because after that game, we ended up playing the other game that I'll mention later. But I'll go ahead and pass it off to Kelly to tell us a little bit about her game.
The At Dead of Night. Well, I will say I was inspired to play this game because of
my
wife
yes.
playing this game. It is super creepy. Phasmophobia is creepy. A couple of other creepy games, and you definitely jump. I love haunted houses. Something that's going to jump out at me. I like to be the first one in a haunted house so that I can really just get the scare and then feel everybody behind me being scared, and being all alone in this hotel. So you are this girl whose friends have apparently left her. You're supposed to go to a festival, supposed to be camping out. For whatever reason, they decide to go to this hotel, and she's trying to talk to her friend. It starts breaking up, whatever. She shows up at the hotel, screams start happening. The proprietor at the hotel, definitely not okay.
Jimmy.
He's Jimmy, yes. Oh my gosh.
Good old Jimmy.
So not to spoil too much of it, but Jimmy, not well in the head, and
doesn't crack corn, FYI, just in case somebody's...
definitely does not crack corn, has killed lots of people. You need to find this piece of equipment. What was it? Forget the name of that piece of equipment. You can talk to the ghosts. But you also got this kind of power where you can see into the past and see what's going to happen in your little mirror. You go, you get your key, you go to your room, somebody screams, then you realize this is bad news bears. Start going through the hotel trying to stay away from Jimmy, because Jimmy will come out of freaking nowhere and knock you on your head, and then you have to go find your ghost talking machine. But he is scary, and some of the ghosts are really scary too. This may be a spoiler, so spoiler alert, but go down to the bottom floor, you hear this ghost. She's crying, and you're trying to talk to her, and she's not talking back. And you're like, fine, then I'm going to leave. Get back in the elevator, turn around, and the girl was there. Oh, it was so good. I was like, I was playing this in the middle of the day, like jumping out of my seat, watching Mike's wife play it, jumping out of my seat too. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm buying this right now. It's a very fun game. Can kind of get a little slow once Jimmy really starts chasing you though. amps up a level. So I thought it was a really, really good game.
Yeah, it was. Well, it was really interesting because my wife started playing it originally because she likes type of games like this, and we were playing Phasmophobia, constantly because she loves that. But we actually, so I said, hey, why don't you play it? She doesn't like to do anything online, and I respect that. It's fine. That's why I don't even mention most of that typically. But she, at least locally on Discord, decided to stream to us just so we could watch her play it. It's a single player game. We can't really play it with her or anything. And got to kind of like enjoy the game at the same time. And it is a first person type of game where it's what'd you call this, Brian? There was a certain term you used. Is it?
It's an FPV.
FPV, right? Which stands for.
No, sorry.
He's just making up letters.
I'm just making up letters. It's
TRK.
It's FMV, full motion video.
Full motion video. So yeah, it's recorded like actual actors. They did parts, and then when the gameplay. It's an
FMV adventure game. It's very much a point and click.
Point and click
adventure game, and it's like you point and click to move.
And because of that, it's like not Myst. Real time.
Like Myst, if people remember that really old game.
But it's not real time because like things have to be clicked to make the next action kind of happen. So. But it's a really neat game, and it worked out very well for like us streaming it within Discord, for example. We were like that were spectating were like freaking out when things were happening too, just as she was playing it, and like as I'm sure Kelly has been playing it now, which we may see again later. But it was a really neat type of game. Definitely recommend it for those who are into scary. I was fine watching it. Like I'm glad that I wasn't playing it, but just to watch it, a little spooky, but not like. Not too crazy. And there is a spooky aspect of this game too, which I don't want to give too much spoilers, but there is a little, type of paranormal activity in this game as well. So that was also kind of a cool part.
That was really cool.
So the reason why I said I'd wait till after that. So after we were on the train of like, let's play all these stupid, scary, creepy games or whatever, alcohol was flowing, and I decided because the Steam sale was happening, and I don't know if it's already done or not, but I bought some other games just to see what we could play as 4-player, and I ended up buying a game called Lunch Lady, and Lunch Lady is terrible, but it was fun for a little bit. So Lunch Lady takes place in high school, where the
high school after dark.
Definitely high school after dark. It was very interesting. So basically you had lost a lot of your project report papers or something.
No, you're stealing answers to the exam.
Oh, stealing answers to the exam. So you read more than I did.
Do you not pay attention to these things that you do?
No, I don't. So
you
we're there.
You have to pick up the 10 pages of the answers to the exam, and that's why you're in the high school at night. And then the lunch lady, who is disgusting.
Okay, I just pulled her up.
She's a beast. And she chases you down and bonks you on the head. And if she bonks all 4 of you on the head, then it's game over for you. And there's so many weird things about this game. Like the way that the characters stand, which it looks like their back's kind of weird and broken, and like pterodactyl type arms, and the picture that you took of the person crawling in front of you that had shorts on.
Yeah.
Which was hilarious.
It was a game that you can tell had potential. And I'm not saying this is a bad game. It was entertaining. We had fun playing it, even though it wasn't like the best game.
We had
ever.
A blast.
But it's definitely kind of in the same realms of like a Dead by Daylight or a Pacify style game where you're working as a team trying to get a certain objective, and you have the enemy trying to take you all out. And if all of you guys are down, then you guys lose. But what was hard is that it's a multi-tiered high school. So there's like first level, second level, and there's different sections that you can open based on keys that you find. So kind of like in the zombie style of like playing like Call of Duty Zombies, like you have to like work towards a goal to get a key to open the next section of the map, like the same thing. And then you'd have to go there, and then she's like obviously looking through the hallway trying to find you and stuff, and you're trying to run and survive and all that stuff. So pretty cool game. It was like less than $5, I think, on Steam. If you have 3 other friends that want to play with you and just have a fun night, just to laugh, just because even some of the game is so janky that it's just funny. It's a good game to check out. So Lunch Lady, I would recommend that.
I thought you said it was bad.
It's bad good. It's just drink a lot of alcohol and it'll be fun.
He's like, I played this really crappy game.
You should check it out.
You should totally buy it.
It's bad, but you should still check it out.
You should check it out.
It's inexpensive. I mean, I would honestly play it one more time just so that we can see what happened when we beat it.
Mm.
So, I mean, if we got 3-4 hours of entertainment out of something that cost us like $5, to be honest, though, Zycia bought us copies of the game, so I actually didn't pay for it. Thank you very much, Zycia. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
$4 on Steam right now.
This is what happens when you give me alcohol.
Still on sale.
I have Steam.
It's kind of a janky little game, but if you got some friends, boy, it's a fun little drinking game to just like go out and do for a couple hours.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. So I think the one left is you, Demiran. What do you have that you played?
I hate myself. So
yes, don't we all?
I picked up playing the re-release of an MMORPG that I played in 2009. They just released Aion Classic, which is a throwback to an MMORPG from many, many moons ago. And that's been what I've been playing. So it's a tab target MMORPG created by NCSoft, which is a Korean game development company, and been having a lot of fun with it. It's also an absolute disaster. They did the weirdest thing with the economy, so that it's an MMORPG game has a pay-to-win cash shop where they implemented candies, and you can purchase these candies.
Essentially, that's not what I thought you said initially.
I thought you also said that thing that she thought, and that was interesting. I think one of the people in our chat have recognized it too.
Anyways, candies. Okay. Yeah.
Well, like he was lost. He honestly did not know what we were talking about that entire time. That's the amazing part. That's why I was like,
oh, this goes down in history.
Whoa. Who's history?
I'm too tired to catch up now. All those handies that people bought. Anyways, you can buy these candies from the item mall that sell for $100K, which completely destroyed the economy. So it's been an interesting ride. Just imagine a generic MMORPG, but the entire economy is now like 3 months ahead of where the game should be 1 week into it. So things that, would generally sell for like 1.2 million gold in the game are like 17 million gold. So it's just really all over the place. PvPs all over the place. It's just we're gonna see where it goes, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. I don't suggest anybody play it. That's what I'm gonna say.
I
That's fair.
Love and adore you. I didn't hear anything you said. I've still been thinking of what I thought you said.
Of buying handies. Is that a flagged word? I don't think that's a flagged word.
I don't know.
We're going to see an article tomorrow that Twitch has banned the word handies because it is violating the terms of service for...
Well, no, because they'll start trending.
It'll start trending.
It's okay.
They'll start freaking trending and they'll ban it.
We'll
have to tag
they'll
it.
ban it, but so long as Kelly is the one saying it, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
They're like, no, you can only use handy if it's contextually appropriate for the situation.
Like, okay, well, we can make that happen.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, not with the terms of service, you can't, sir.
Oh man, fun. So,
anyways, that's Aion Classic.
We're good.
Moving on.
Oh man. Well, going into our swipe right news. How to fit? How fun?
See, it just slides off the tongue, doesn't it?
If I could swear, I would do that right now.
Good. Well, why don't you get to this?
So our first Our first story is from GameStop, who, as much as everybody wishes they were selling handies, instead are selling PlayStation 5s and 3080s behind an essential subscription paywall. You guys started this. If you subscribe, this is gonna take so much longer than a minute.
Should we take the start? We start the counter over.
He was gonna rant, and now he can't do anything but laugh.
We should start the counter over. I don't know if we can do this. We have to start over.
All right.
I yield my time.
GameStop allowing people with GameStop subscriptions to purchase PS5 bundles that cost a minimum of $600 or 3080s that are only paired with monitors. Summary of the short is GameStop sucks. Terrible company. I like the stock.
Oh my god!
Except for the stock isn't worth anything because they sold off $1 billion of it. They sold off $1 billion of the stock.
And I like the stock. Oh my god, the stonk. I like the stonk.
It tanked.
Oh man! All right, I'm gonna start this over. Team Fortress 2. If you're not familiar with Team Fortress 2, it is a Valve game that was produced a very long time ago, like early 1999, right? So Team Fortress 2 is very similar to a Overwatch style game where you have a team of people that have specialized groups, specialized skills that you have to work together to try to like battle the other team. First person shooter, and you're kind of trying to figure out, each person's thing. Recently, they have just they found that through SteamDB that there are over 150,000 active players for the first time on Steam since like a very long time. They said, of course, yes, there are also bots that are known. Apparently, there's a plague of like racist bots that just join matches just to like troll people, which is a random thing to do on a random game. But
they
the
not
actual
like other bots of like, different manufacturer, like the Honda Asmo against the Hyundai, whatever it was.
No idea, but there's
racist bots.
150,000 people playing this. I think I've even heard that 204,000 people playing this right now. But there's still actual people playing it too. So I don't know what the resurgence is about, other than the fact that people just want to maybe try out a new game, and probably someone on Twitch trended it and people are starting to pick it up again. But it's still a good game. It's just like, it's outdated by now. But the point is, it is on the Source engine, so the game is still going to run very well for the date that it's on the game. So go check it out. Maybe you'll increase the number a little bit.
All right. Next one, Hot Wheels Unleashed. New game. Getting really great reviews. Looks super cute. Definitely check it out. Check out the trailer. The article that I read said that the tracks or courses are a second grader's dream come true. And I say they're a 40-year-old's dream come true. Some of the changes that they've made in this version, things that they kind of throw you for a loop. When you think you're going to like go turbo speed, sometimes it does turbo speed. Sometimes it like throws you off the track.
Literally through a loop.
Literally through a loop. Yeah. The release date for it should be September 27th, as long as that doesn't get pushed back.
Cool.
So we've been talking about Xbox Game Pass and the Xbox Game Cloud. Well, they finally announced that if you are an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate member, that on Windows 10 PCs, Apple phones and tablets, or via browser across 22 countries, you can go to xbox.com/play and sign up to just sign in with your Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, and you can use the Xbox Cloud Gaming right now. Microsoft Edge, Chrome, or Safari. Sorry for those on Firefox. Now, they haven't finished the upgrade to Xbox Series X type hardware, so they have not rolled out being able to do this on your Xbox One yet, but that will be coming later this year, that you'll be able to play Xbox Series games on your Xbox One. 10 seconds to spare.
Yeah. I yield the remainder of my time. my next story, The Binding of Isaac's Four Souls, the expansion, The Binding of Isaac's Four Souls Requiem, through Kickstarter has raised over $5.3 million. Still in the works. For $35, you can get the 248 card Requiem expansion. Hey, kitty cat. Plus a small pack that revises actually the original version. Cheers. And for $65 through Kickstarter, you can get all of that in an oversized box to hold it all in.
Which apparently, according to the earlier story, is going to cost more to ship to us. Because really the only country that has the machines that properly makes the boxes for these things is in China.
That goes through the Suez Canal, right, Mike?
Yeah, the Susie's Canal.
Susie Canal.
She is busy.
Whoa. I heard she got something stuck up there for a little while.
Listen, it's a tight fit.
Tight fit, super tight fit.
Tight fit. It was kind of windy that day.
Better break out the handies.
I'm gonna restart the countdown because this one got murdered.
Right.
There was no murder.
So some game developers have been finding that it is very difficult to get their game noticed on the Sony PlayStation Store. They said some games, just to get decent placement on the store, is costing them $25,000. Sometimes it can reach as high as $200,000. One game developer said, if Platform X doesn't like your game, there's no fanfare, no feature, no love. He claims, after stating, and this is from a Kotaku article since I'm quoting it, that getting any attention at all requires they jump through hoops, suggesting that developers have no ability to manage their games on the PlayStation Store. He goes on to detail how the game's presence is based on the platform holder's own evaluation of the product, but Sony doesn't say how the evaluation's even done. They don't share that. They don't share how they ascribe any value to the game and how it can be moved up in the store with visibility other than paying for it.
So in the Bitcoin world, things are changing up a little bit as new legislation, I guess, has been proposed to try to do something about Bitcoin because of the fact that we have ransomware issues where there are there are hackers out there using ransomware to do whatever they want to do, and then they're requesting payment through Bitcoin because typically it's untraceable, until we found out recently that that's not exactly the case because, well, they were able to recover some of that digital wallet. So there's actually some new talks talking about where they're going to potentially, with the Federal Reserve, open up a new type of cryptocurrency that will be something that would be regulated that people can use outside of just a Bitcoin, which is talks because Bitcoin really right now is not backed by anything outside of what people want it to be, which is just the demand, supply and demand. So if this all changes, this could be a different world for the cryptocurrency world.
Our next short is about none other than Outriders, a game which I've talked about multiple times because they've done so poorly. But they've started releasing patches finally that don't break the game worse than it already was before. And the most recent ones are actually receiving some pretty good feedback, including their doubling of legendary drop rates. They did a full increase of 100% across the board. And it seems like it's starting to bring some players back. So slowly but surely they're building up that community again. Granted, considering what we found here, there's a much quicker way to get people to come back. But they haven't moved to that cash out function yet.
So Halo Reach has been out for a long time, and for about 10 years or so, people have been lamenting the fact that a lot of the people in your team die one by one until your character is the last standing person, at least for that time being. So a couple of people decided that they wanted to save one of the characters, and all the characters die in cutscenes except for Emil dies in a interactive kind of cutscene where it's actually in engine. So they spent a lot of time. They released a video finally that they use a glitch where they can play 2 cutscenes at a time in a certain way that they do it. And they're actually able to save him. It looks absolutely insane how they did this. He actually still kind of dies, but at least he doesn't die from the elite stabbing him. So go check it out.
All right. I think this is our last story. Xbox and Nike teamed up to create a tennis shoe for why don't
Space Jam.
Space Jam. Thank you. I've been laughing at chat too much. Wile E. Coyote shoe on the left, a Roadrunner shoe on the right, and then a controller that kind of combines the two together. And I got to be honest, I really like the shoes. The controller's okay, but the shoes are super cute, so I would totally snag those. The movie comes out on July 5th, or sorry, the movie comes out July 16th. The shoes and controller combo only available through the Nike sneaker SNKR app. So on the 15th, and then if you're really interested, the movie will also be available on HBO Max after 31 days after release in theater. So I think it kind of looks cool.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Shoes. I don't know how I feel about that. Watching the original Space Jam with Michael Jordan and seeing
it's definitely a reboot.
I mean, don't get me wrong, LeBron James is another beast in its own like type of player. Like he's definitely going to go down in history as like one of the best players too. But it's just hard growing up with like a movie, like a staple that we watch to like say now it's going to be replaced with someone else. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see. It may be good. Maybe it won't be. Maybe I'll just be biased and just do what I typically do. All right. So emails. Time to talk about emails. We don't have any. Send us an email. GOA@sassgaming.com. GOA@sassgaming.com. Where you can send us an email.
Drinking game.
And add to our drinking game. So yeah, if you've seen us drinking tonight, which we talked about a little bit, and some of you guys may have seen us do it if you're watching live, we do have a Sass Gaming drinking game thanks to Daydrinker, who decided to make one up without us knowing. So yeah, if you want to add to that, you can definitely do that. So send us an email with that in addition, and we'll read it out loud and add it to the game. So that is what got our attention this week. If you're interested in watching us live, we do this on every Thursday night, typically at 9 p.m. On Eastern time, where you can watch us on Twitch. And then typically, if you don't match or don't have the time to watch us on Thursday night, we do put this video out on YouTube afterwards as well. If you want to support us in just outside of just watching us, we do have a patreon.com/sassgaming, where you can subscribe and do some little perks in here and there. And if you just want to know all our information, if you want to figure, what our links are, what do we do on our own time, it's just sassgaming.com. Has a list of all of our Sass Gaming links. We're almost at 100 subscribers on YouTube. We need like less than 20, I think, left. So if you haven't been to our YouTube page, please go there now. Click the subscribe button. You don't necessarily have to click the alert. If you do, great. If you don't, you'll see some good content. If you do, or we consider good content. If you don't, then that's fine. But we only need a few more to get that custom URL. We'd really appreciate if you did that. And outside of that, you can find out about all of our information at the podcast and everything else going forward. So that's all that. If you want to follow me individually, I don't know why, but you can. I'm XYCIA on Twitch, or if you want to go to Instagram or Twitter, I'm XYCIA Gaming. So Zycia Gaming, anywhere else. And Brian, what do you have?
You can find me at Phoenix Nova, PHOENNIX_Nova on Twitch. Get rid of the underscore for anything else, for Instagram, for Twitter, and now for YouTube as well.
That's awesome, by the way. High five.
Yeah, congratulations.
Can't do this way.
Cheers, sir.
Yeah, there we go. High five. What about you, Bruno?
You can find me on Twitch at DYMYRN. That's Dimiron, or on Twitter at Dimiron Gaming. I'd like to say that I'm going to be streaming soon, but that's probably not going to happen for a little while longer. So you just sit there on a totally blank channel playing nothing, and just have a really good time. Throw something in the chat and be lonely. I don't know.
And Kelly, what you got?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram at daydrinkeratl. I have just recently been day drinking and mini making, so if you wanna
you should start filming that. Speaking of your mini making, I'm gonna throw up some pictures that we have. So if you're watching live, you're gonna check them out. You tell me what we're looking at here.
Okay. So I made a miniature coffee shop from a kit, and I could post all that information on my Instagram as well. But all of that was made by hand, cutting stuff out, gluing stuff together. It's teeny tiny. I will put up some other pictures and put up like a dime for reference. It is super small, but I'm in the process of actually converting it into a crime scene. So I made the kit the way it was supposed to be, and now I am making it my own.
Yeah, that's super cool. Like if you could we'll have to put a link to like the actual photos or when you post it, because like the detail in that stuff that's so small is really awesome. So that is pretty neat.
Thank you.
You're gonna have to post the profile of your tiny crime scene serial killer.
I will definitely. Once it's done, I'll be sending pictures out to everybody.
Once
They'll
it's
be on my
done.
Christmas cards. Look what I did! And now I'm moving on to the next thing.
I'm unemployed and I did all this.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Here's what I
wish I could have that choice.
And clean the house.
All right, y'all. Well, it's been a I said y'all. Listen to me. Letting my southernness come out. Been drinking a little too much tonight, apparently. So
y'all,
we appreciate you guys. Continue out there getting the vaccine. If you haven't done it, I suggest you do it if you can. Obviously, keep wearing a mask if you feel you need to. Nobody says you can't, so feel free to do that. Loving each other, be nice to your neighbor, all that fun stuff, and just be positive. Whoever you're close with, just make sure to take a moment, tell them, you care for them, you love them, and tomorrow's gonna be better. Like it's gonna be. Yeah. Just do that, and you'd be surprised what that may do. So until next time.
Big hug.
Yeah, give a big hug. Till next time, you guys be easy. Take care.